including Danny Nowhere.
Can you tell me where? I would like to backtrack and ask you a couple questions. Now, were you interned prior to enlistment? Were you on internment?
No.
No.
Not at all.
No. Were you on? Where were you?
Those in Hawaii were never interned. Yeah.
Okay, that would basically be the whole state, probably. Is that where you were born and raised in Hawaii?
In Hawaii.
Do you remember what year you enlisted?
Well, no. When was Pearl Harbor bombed?
Well, I was 1941.
Well, I guess the following year, so I think it's 42.
Do you recall Pearl Harbor at all? Do you recall what?
Oh, yes. Both Daniel Reno and I lived close to each other. That we were being trained, and before Pearl Harbor, we were trained to be first aid, and we were in the school that were elementary school were all volunteers to come for training, first aid training, before the bombing of Pearl Harbor. You know, I guess that emergency was that we should be ready for anything, and so either once a week or in the evening would go over to the school, elementary school, and then get some first aid training from volunteer. Well, Dr. Mitsuda was one, Tsukiyama was a female nurse.
Okay.
And they were helping us how to do first aid. And then suddenly, you know, December 6th happened that I was at home and was called to come to the aid station. And there were many aid stations like that in Hawaii before the bombing.
Okay.
And what else can I tell you?
Were you awake, or did you? What island did you live on? By
I was on Oahu.
Oahu. Okay.
Where Honolulu is.
Okay.
And Pearl Harbor.
Sure.
Yeah.
After the bombing and everything, did you immediately go to enlist, or were you in the process of doing that through the medical training?
Did I what?
Did you go? Were you going to be in the Army prior to the bombing, or did you?
No, we were just at that time there was no thought about being in the service, except being, if there were anything, that we would be at the first aid station as volunteers.
Okay. Now, when did you get the thought of like, okay, I want to serve in the Army? When did you?
Well, I think it's not just myself. I think there are many of us who played together in the area, and of course, being at the first aid station too, that we should try to volunteer and show that, you know, we're Japanese, and those who volunteered at that first aid unit were mostly Japanese and Chinese. We didn't have any Caucasians, I don't believe.
Right. Hawaii, of course, is mostly, you know, of Asian descent, so.
Oh, that's right.
So, where did you head off to basic training? Where did you go for basic training?
Oh, great God's country, Camp Shelby, Mississippi.
Oh, that's a long way from Hawaii.
Oh yeah. Well, we were in those, what do they call those little tank boats that brought us, Liberty ships. Yep. They were called Liberty ships, I guess. They're just little, and that's how we went across the ocean to California, and then from California we were driven all the way to Camp Shelby.
So you were driven from California to Mississippi?
Yeah.
Now at your camp in Mississippi, was it integrated? Was it just solely Japanese Americans?
Oh, well, the group that was all Japanese Americans. Of
So
course,
was that the formation of the 442nd?
yeah, 442nd, yes.
Okay. Can you tell me about some of your experiences in basic? Do you remember any of them? Must have been
Nothing really exciting outside of the hot days in Mississippi, and these long what do you call them? Not hikes, but
oh yeah, the bivouacs.
yeah. Well, you know, and not really camping either. It's just a 24 mile march, you know.
Sure.
And being a first aider, we couldn't rest because of the GIs sitting down when there was a break, because a lot of them had blisters. Yeah, that's right.
Right, you got no break.
You know, no rest at all.
Now, did you get any time off? Any furloughs when you were in basic? Did you get any days off where you could go into?
Oh yes, we did get away, and what we did was, because we were Japanese, and the Japanese were moved from California to Arkansas, to Rohwer, R-O-H-W-E-R, Rohwer, Arkansas.
Yeah.
And that's where they were, what's the term that you use? Intern, yeah.
Sure.
And I don't know whether intern was really a harder word or not, but
yeah,
they're relocated, that's what it is.
Interned in prison.
Yeah. Well, not in prison. They had homes for each families, or a group of families, and they weren't threatened of anything. But the Japanese, being very, I guess, versatile and being able to do a lot of farming and things like that, grew many things out there in that hot Arkansas area.
Sure.
You know.
Now, to backtrack to when you were in Hawaii, after after December 7th, did you feel was there any animosity towards you by white army or white? Or did you not notice?
I didn't really feel that much, but I'm sure there were many.
Because
but
you were in Hawaii, with around your.
That's right, at the beginning.
Sure.
Yeah.
Now, when you got into Mississippi, did you notice a difference?
We were really there, but just for our basic training, and so we were just right there, and we didn't go out too often to what's the well-known Hattiesburg.
Hattiesburg?
Yeah.
Okay, Mississippi, sure.
Uh-huh.
Do you recall any of your instructors when you were in basic? I know it's a long time ago.
No,
Yeah.
I would say I don't.
Now, did you get physically fitter when you went through basic? Did you feel nice and strong, or were you in pretty good shape before you went in?
Oh, I thought I was in pretty good shape, and being a medical corpsman, I had to be, especially during these hikes. You always would, you don't get a chance to rest too much because you're giving first aid, and mainly fixing blisters and things like that, you know.
Right.
But outside of that,
do you recall when you got orders to go overseas? When you were said, okay, we're going to Europe. Do you remember when that was?
I don't.
No.
I don't.
Did you get any time off the time? Well, were you able to go back to Hawaii before being shipped to Europe, or no?
No, I didn't know.
No
time off during that time when we were training, basic training.
Yeah.
No, but when we went to Europe, and after the war, we had time off to go to Paris and things like that. We had opportunities like that.
Now, did you go anywhere else after Mississippi for more training?
No.
No, all your training was in Mississippi.
Yes, until we went overseas.
Now,
to Europe.
where did you where did you go out of? Did you go out of New York City? Take a boat?
I believe we went from there and sailed the boat to France.
To France?
Mm-hmm.
Now, this was this after D-Day or before D-Day?
Oh, after.
After.
Right.
So you got into France in 1944 at some point. Where was your first combat engagement? Do you recall that? After landing in Europe.
Oh no, I'm sorry. We were also. Now I'm puzzled because our battles really at the beginning were in Italy.
Sure.
You know, all the way from the tip of the boot all the way up, and as far as the places that I can recall, like the Carrara Marble, and then the furloughs that we were able to get was in to go to Florence, and then we were able to go to Leghorn. That's the Leaning Tower of Pisa,
okay,
and things like that. But most of our battles really was from the Italian boot all the way up, going north.
Did you go to Sicily, or were you always in Italy?
At that time, it was just in Italy.
Just in Italy?
Yeah, and then they shipped us to France.
France, after, okay.
Yeah.
So you were a medic, or
a medic.
aidman. Were you what they call a medic?
Yes.
Did you want to do that prior going into the service?
No, not really. Outside of the training that we got at the first aid station in Hawaii, we were training for it.
Yeah.
But over and above that, I never thought of going to the medical field or being a medic. And somehow, because I guess they knew that we had some training that, and even when the basic training, I don't think we had any real medical. We were just another GI, just following the rifle companies on hikes and things like that. Every day we were out exercising and things like that.
Sure.
Just.
Did you can you tell me about some of the towns that you were in Italy and some of the battles that you were in? Do you recall?
Oh, vaguely. I mean, the Arno River was one portion that we were fighting in, and that's where I guess I lost one of my best friends. His trace was just blown off.
Yeah.
But I think really we had battles that I don't, and I can remember the Carrara Marble, if you know the Carrara, and that's famous in Italy, Carrara Marble. And I think we just may have had skirmishes there, but I can't recall that. But I know we went through that area where the Carrara Marble were. And I don't know how far up we went before the war was over.
Sure.
But from there, well, you went to France and then up to Italy. So.
Were you scared going into combat? Were you scared?
Oh yeah, like everybody else.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you have did you have a good company commander? Did you have a good captain, lieutenant?
Well, at that time was I can't remember him either. And I vaguely remember Lieutenant Wells, and actually I don't know. You know,
But did you feel confident with your guys? Did you feel confident?
Oh yeah. Well, I mean, you know, the war is funny. You think that everybody goes in and really fight every day, but it doesn't happen that way. You know, you have laws, and there's nothing, and you're just sitting around, or in your foxhole, and then suddenly it comes about, or you're suddenly told to pack up, and we're going to start moving forward, and things like that.
Hurry up and wait.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
I remember that very well. Would you like to talk about your citation, your Silver Star citation?
Yeah. Well, in fact, you know, I really didn't know much about that there were citations made for the GIs, really.
You just thought you were doing your job.
Yeah, that's doing the job, and
Sure.
you know, there was motor firing and the artillery doing some of that, and you're just lucky that you got out of it. And I wasn't touched at all, except when we were walking one day through the village, and then a rapid German fire automatic rifle, and then that's when I was shot on the foot.
Oh, so you were injured?
Oh yeah,
I wasn't aware.
very lucky, just right through what you call a $1 million wound.
Sure.
Right through, and only the second toe, I guess, just got scraped through. But you know, you get that. I had to go back to the first aid station, and with that, you get a.
You're modest.
Yeah. Nah, really, that wasn't anything. I think that was tough. You can hear a lot of firing, and you're just staying in your foxhole and hoping that things would cease.
Did you carry a weapon or just?
No, just the 2 first aid packets.
Okay.
That's all. And then 2 Red Cross bands.
Sure.
That's it. Oh, and then a flag with the Red Cross on it. So we'd go out to give aid, and we'd just wave it, and hopefully we don't get hit. But my buddy got killed.
Now, did you have the Red Cross on your helmet as well?
No, I don't remember. I know that there are some that have the Red Cross right in front of their forehead.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I don't recall having that on my helmet. All I had is 2 Red Cross bands.
Now, did you ever run out of supplies in the field when you were administering first aid to your soldiers? What would you do? Would you have to return to the back to get more? Would you run forward?
Oh no, you do whatever you can. Most of the time, you don't have very much. The thing that we had at that time was sulfanilamide.
Except for burns?
Oh, that was all purposes.
Just sprinkle it
powder,
on the wounds?
all the powder, yeah.
Okay.
And
They give you morphine?
no weapons at all.
No, morphine. Did they give you morphine?
No morphine. I don't recall having morphine. Tincture methylate. It's like mercurochrome almost.
Okay.
Like that. And bandages, and triangle bandages. And that's all you carry.
To get them just to get them bandaged and get them to the back.
That's right.
And get them to the surgical station.
Yeah, well, as soon as we can move it, we would have
Now, what do you recall being the worst for soldiers being injured? Was it artillery, or was it gunfire, or?
Well, I think it's small arm fire more than anything else.
Yeah.
Because the heavy firing, we were down in the holes, and I don't recall really any outside of that one person who went out and got torn over. You know, his face was just torn, and that really broke me up. But and then my buddy was shot right in the center of his chest. Those two I could remember vividly. Others are very mild kind of wounds here and there, and just putting on Methylate or using the triangular bandages. And that's it.
Sure. Do you recall when did you leave Italy prior to the war ending, or were you there through 1945?
Sometime we were brought back to the States here, to Virginia, and that's where I was discharged, I believe.
When the war, were you still in Europe when Berlin fell, or were you on your way back? After you guys took Italy, did you guys leave to go to France?
No, that's what I can't recall either.
That's okay.
Yeah.
That's okay. Did you have any idea what you wanted to do when you got back to the United States? What do you want to do for work?
The fortunate thing was that they asked me where they'll tell you in the sheet, the discharge sheet, that I requested to stay in the United States because I wanted to study. And so, but when I discharged and leave Virginia rather than New York, I did go to New York during the holidays, at which time they were hiring people for the post office. So I worked at the post office first, and I was very lucky, yeah. And of course, my third company was a New Yorker. He was a Princeton student and first aider, and he invited me to his place, and I stayed there for a while, and then also was working at the post office for that short Christmas holiday.
Some extra money in your pocket.
Yeah.
Now, did you have mom and dad still in Hawaii when you came back to the United States?
Did I have to?
Were your parents still in Hawaii when you?
Oh, they were still in. Yeah, they were in Hawaii.
So you got back from got back from Italy.
Yeah.
And stayed in New York area.
Yeah.
Now, did you Did you have no desire to go back to Hawaii?
No.
No.
I requested at that time. It was just about, I think it was after Christmas, so it was the second semester, and I was able to get to ask if I, with the GI counselors, to help all the guys who were discharged, and what I wanted to do now, and I want to go to school. So I went, and they helped me to get to Dickinson College in Carlisle, Pennsylvania.
Okay.
Yeah, and I.
What did you study when you were in college?
Sociology.
Sociology.
Yeah, and then after that, I finished, got my bachelor's, and then went to Tulane for my master's in social work.
Okay. And what did you do after Tulane University?
After Tulane, I got back north again. I was at the when I went to Dickinson, which is near Carlisle, there was a Methodist home for children, and I stayed there. It was very nice to me, and I stayed there for a while. And then I think from there, while I was going to Dickinson, and then during the summer came, and I had to find something to do. I was up in the Poconos working with handicapped children.
Okay.
Under the Easterfield program, Easterfield Society.
Yeah.
And I stayed and worked with them every summer, and then of course, when that was over, summer was over, And I went back to college again and, finished my 4 years at Dickinson. And then when that was over, then I went down to Tulane for my master's.
To backtrack, during your time in the service, did you were you able to keep in touch with anyone back in Hawaii? Did you write home letters?
Oh, I did write home to my parents.
Did you get letters yourself? Did you get mail?
Some mail. Yeah.
How was your chow? How was the food?
In the service?
Yeah.
I don't recall that being that bad.
Right.
I'm not fussy about food, that's why, I guess.
You're here today, so couldn't have been that bad. Were you able to catch any USO shows when you were overseas, or no?
No, I don't.
Do you keep in touch with any of your service members? Still keep in touch with them?
No.
No?
No, not yet. I do. Danny Norway does write me during the holidays, and that's how that picture is.
Sure.
Yeah.
Christmas parties.
Yeah.
Did you keep any diaries or any? Did you keep any diaries when you were?
Oh no.
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 You didn't have time, probably.
Yeah, I didn't have that kind of an exciting life. I was just an ordinary Joe.
Ordinary Joe. So were you able to capitalize on the GI Bill when you were in Dickinson?
Oh yes,
yeah.
But when all my education was through the GI Bill. All my education was completely covered. So from the undergraduate work at Dickinson to my master's at Tulane. Very good.
Now, how after your job, like how when did you get married? And when your kids? When did you have kids?
Yeah, after I got my master's, then I got this job with the first was the Philadelphia Society for Crippled Children.
Okay.
As a social worker, and during the summer I was excused to go to camp to work with the handicapped. Let's see. Then I did after working with the handicapped. I was here in New Haven, and I worked also at another social agency, Bashir Association.
Okay.
It was on the south side and near the steel mill at that time.
Okay.
Working mainly Polish. That group, Polish Serbs, were other national that close, but they were all in that area that I worked with as a social worker.
What are some of the lasting memories you have of the service during your time in the service?
What
are some of the favorite things you recall?
Oh, I just I suppose going to Paris is getting a trip to Paris through the service.
Yeah.
And in Italy, of course, was I was still in uniform, I think, when I went up to Florence, Italy.
Yeah.
And boy, it's so long. I just don't know. Can't recall.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's quite all right. I understand. I completely understand. Did you, after the war, did you have any reunions with the 442nd?
No, I'm one of the very few, I'm sure, have not been in touch with the 442nd at all outside of Daniel Inouye once or twice.
Really? No desire, or you just got on with life?
I guess it's a new life here in the States. And
now, where's the, was there anything else that you'd like to, are you in the VFW, are you in the American Legion, Japanese American War Veterans Society, or anything
no,
like that?
not at all.
No?
No.
I guess, is there anything else you'd like to say about your experience, your service?
I don't think any kind of sensational thing, but traveling to places like Paris and Florence and things like are memories that I have.
Sure.
But
I guess that concludes our interview. I just want to say thank you for your service, and it was a pleasure interviewing, and I wish you the best.
thank you very much.